Olama, daughter of thunder. Night fell over Yumu's village like a thick blanket. The frogs croaked by the riverside, and the crickets sang in the bushes. Inside Obina's compound, all was quiet, except in Ngozi's small hut. Ngozi tossed and turned on her mat. Sweat covered her forehead even though the night was cool. Deep inside her dream, she saw herself walking through a dark forest. Strange shadows followed her, whispering evil words. Suddenly, a heavy hand grabbed her from behind and pulled her into a pit filled with thorns. Ngozi screamed out in pain inside the dream. Blood flowed from her arms, and her belly burned like fire. She woke up with a loud cry. Obina, who was sleeping beside her on another mat, jumped up immediately. He rushed to her side and held her trembling body. "My wife, my Ngozi," he whispered. "What is it? Talk to me." Ngozi clutched her stomach and tried to catch her breath. I saw people hurting me," she said weakly. "They want to destroy me and this child." Obina wiped the sweat from her face gently. He kissed her forehead and rocked her like a child. "Nothing will happen to you," he said softly. "I am here. God is with you. You will live and this child will live too." Ngozi leaned into his arms, feeling a little comfort. But deep inside, she knew something dark was moving around them. Meanwhile, in the next hut, Amoka could not sleep either. She watched through the tiny window as Obina cared for Ngozi with so much love. Her heart boiled with hatred and jealousy. "It is as if I don't exist anymore," she muttered under her breath. "I must do something stronger. Something that will finish Ngozi once and for all." Early the next morning, before the cock crowed, Amoka wrapped herself in a dark cloth and left the compound secretly. She traveled far, beyond the next village, to a feared woman named Mama Njoku, known for her wicked charms. When Amoka arrived, she knelt before Mama Njoku and poured out her heart. "I want the barren woman, Ngozi, to lose her child and suffer," Amoka cried. Mama Njoku smiled with her crooked teeth and went into her dark hut. She returned with a small black calabash tied with red and black threads. "Rub this charm around her doorstep at midnight," Mama Njoku instructed. "Within 7 days, her womb will dry up." Amoka paid the woman and left, her heart singing with wicked excitement. That night, when everyone was asleep, Amoka crept to Ngozi's hut like a thief. She poured the evil charm around the doorway and returned to her room smiling. Days passed. Ngozi grew stronger and her stomach grew bigger. Instead of falling sick, she became healthier and more beautiful. Amoka watched in confusion. Why is she still standing, she wondered. Why didn't the charm work? What Amoka did not know was that Olama, the spirit child inside Ngozi, was protected by powers far greater than any earthly charm. While all these things were happening, King Obikwe was restless in his palace. Every day, he sent spies to search for the child that was prophesied to end his reign. But finding the child was not easy. The village was large and filled with many pregnant women. Frustrated and angry, King Obikwe called for a village announcement. The town crier went around beating his gong and shouting, "All pregnant women must gather at the palace square tomorrow." By order of King Obikwe. Fear gripped the village. Nobody dared disobey. The next day, all the pregnant women in Yumu stood in a long line under the hot sun, their hands trembling, their hearts pounding. Ngozi stood too, wearing a simple wrapper and holding her belly protectively. Obina stood at a distance, his face full of worry. King Obikwe came out with Dibia Anin by his side. They carried a special charm, a strange god filled with enchanted water. One by one, the women were called forward. Dibia Anin would sprinkle the enchanted water on each woman and watch the reaction. Most women simply shivered and were allowed to go. But when it came to Ngozi's turn, something strange happened. As soon as the water touched her forehead, the charm exploded into smoke. A loud thunder cracked across the sky, even though it was not raining. Everyone gasped in fear. Dibia Anin pointed at Ngozi with shaking hands. "It is her," he cried. "She carries the child of thunder." King Obikui's face twisted in anger and fear. "Seize her immediately," he commanded. Before anyone could protest, guards rushed forward and grabbed Ngozi roughly. They threw her into a large iron cage like a wild animal. Obinna ran forward to stop them, but strong hands held him back. Tears poured from Ngozi's eyes as she clutched her belly, crying for her husband. "My wife! My child!" Obinna screamed helplessly, fighting the guards, but it was useless. The people of Yumuse watched in silence, their hearts heavy but too afraid to speak. No one dared challenge King Obikui. The king announced with a wicked smile, "This woman is carrying an abomination against my throne. She shall be executed at the end of the next 7 days." A heavy sadness fell over the village. Amoka watched from behind a mango tree. When she saw Ngozi locked up like an animal, she smiled with wicked joy. Finally, she said to herself, "The barren woman will be gone forever." But what Amoka and the evil king did not know was that the forces protecting Ngozi and her unborn child were already preparing for war. And Olama, the daughter of thunder, was not a child that could be defeated by human hands.